हे हेलो दोस्तों, वेलकम टू अनदर कूल वीडियो। और गाइज आज मैं आपको बताने वाला हूँ कि आप एक अच्छी लाइव स्ट्रीम कैसे कर सकते हैं। गाइज आप या तो एक गेम प्ले कर रहे हो या फिर आप की क्या और वो खेलने के गेम में कार के अंदर बैठा हूँ तो मैं अपनी स्क्रीन में भी ओबामा सर के ऊपर लिख रहा है। तो ये सब चीजें कैसे सेटअप करते हैं गाइज। और हाँ, एक और बात, जब आप गेम खेल रहे हो उसके दौरान आपको अलर्ट्स भी आते हैं, जैसे कि ये देखिए, किसी ने मुझे डोनेशन दी या फिर किसी ने मुझे सब्सक्राइब किया बीच में।
Hello everybody and welcome to my tutorial. Today I'm going to talk about how to download and use OBS Studio on Windows 10. Now this will also work on Windows 7 and 8. These are about all the same processes, even possibly on Mac. The download process will slightly change, but as far as that goes, everything else will almost be exactly the same. So this is a very multi-platform tutorial. But just to let everybody know, what I'm recording this on right now is NVIDIA Shadowplay. So you're probably going to notice some audio issues. My mic sounds normally better than that, but I'm using that because I need something to record my normal recording program, which is OBS Studio. The first thing you're going to do is navigate to this site right here, obsproject.com. Now, don't worry, I'm going to have a link to this in the description so you can get right there. And the first thing you're going to notice is there's two options right now. We have OBS Studio and OBS Classic. Now, there is much better to tell the difference of this, so I'm just going to give you a little bit of a gist of this. And that's basically OBS Studio is a rewrite, a brand new version of the old one. Classic was the old original OBS that they made. It has all these features here that you can. OBS Studio has all that plus more. Not to mention they've simplified the process, fixed some bugs, made it more stable and less taxing, and overall just plain better. Highly recommend this. This one is a nightmare to work with. It does good job. It's just it's much more intense. I've spent hours trying to figure it out, and I've gotten stuff to work, but it's just been very complicated. So in the end, I recommend this. Another big important thing to note: if you have Mac or Linux, Studio is the only one that'll work. You cannot use Classic on anything except for Windows 7, 8, and 10. If you have anything else, Studio is the way to go. And heck, even if you do use Windows, I still think Studio is the way to go. So just ignore this here. So, folder, and we're going to go to Deck. So, this you're going to don't really need that on my desktop. Don't really like that. I prefer keeping stuff down the hotbar. I'm just going to right-click and pin to tab bar and keep it over here. Just like that. Now, what we're going to do next is we're going to set a few things up. First thing you're going to notice is that our screen is entirely blank, and that's because OBS Studio is a true open broadcast, or that's what it stands for, open broadcast software, and it's very true to that. This is broadcast software. You can do so much with this, and it's very scalable. You can do as little, just a simple desktop recording, or have multiple cameras hooked up with multiple monitors, multiple streams, and turn it into a whole TV station if you want. It's pretty cool what you can do. You can even key out yourself in the background and do live keying and all that stuff. But we're not going to do anything complicated like that for this. All we're going to do is we're going to start with a scene right here, and we're just going to make it so we can record our desktop background. So what we're going to do that is we want to make sure our scene, this is going to be here by default. This is a scene 1. So that means this will be the default location for all the sources that we're going to send to this. So basically, scenes are your entire view of what the audience will see, and sources is what the audience is going to see per view. So let me kind of explain what it is. What we're going to do is we're going to click on this little plus sign here, and we're going to go to Display Capture right here, and we're going to click Display Capture. I'm just going to call this Display Capture 1. That's what we're going to do. It'll make it easier. And I'm going to press OK. And here you can see this is our display, and it is capturing it. Now we need to pick which display. We can do display 0, which is 1, or 1, which is they're considering 2, or 0 or 2. This one or that one. This is my monitor over here. You can see this is the original one. So if I pull this over, you can see that is the second monitor, but I want to actually capture this one. So just pick the one you want, then press, and you can also have capture cursor. If I turn this off, my cursor is nowhere to be seen. You can see I'm highlighting things, but you can't see it. I would prefer to keep this, especially if you're doing any screen capturing. That would make it easier for whoever you're trying to teach or show where you're actually clicking on. And I'm just going to press OK. And boom, now we actually see our screen. Now, as far as that process goes, we're about set. Now, let's talk a little bit about what these scenes were here. Let's click this little plus here and make scene 1. This will basically be scene 2. Notice if I click here, we go to our desktop, and if I click here, we fade away. This is a different scene. So what I could do is I could click here, go back and click the plus, and then click on display capture again. Call that display capture, except set this one to the second monitor, and press OK. So now I can switch between my second monitor over here and my first monitor right here. So this is pretty cool if we can switch before. And we have almost unlimited options of different screens. We can cut between different monitors entirely. We even have our transition type. We could go to a cut, so when I click it just instantly snaps, or we could do a fade, and I can make this long or short. We'll do like, say, 5,000 milliseconds. When I click now, this is very slow and subtle fade, but we'll keep it at the 300 millisecond default, which is fine for this. And we're actually going to get rid of scene 1 because we don't need that. We can just click the minus button, and that's going to ask, are we sure? I'm going to click yes. We'll get rid of it. So now let's talk a little bit about some settings. Right now, if we tried to record, some stuff's going to happen, and for the main thing is we don't even know where we're recording to. So there's a few default settings we need to adjust right off the bat. One of those is right down here, settings. We're going to click on that. And it's going to pull open this. Now we're going to start at the top. I'm going to work our way down. Now the first thing I want to mention too is we're going to talk about video setup to recording, and then we're going to talk about streaming. So first will be video, next will be streaming. So hold on if you're not into the video part. It'll be very short, and then we'll get into the streaming setup. And the video and the streaming is almost exactly the same, and is very important steps to follow through that too. So I highly recommend following through all processes, even if you don't plan to just record. So first thing at the very top is we're going to have our language set to whatever you'd like. The theme, this is pretty cool. We can set this to dark, and I'm a big fan of this by default, so I would like to keep mine as dark. So we're going to have it to that. And now we're going to do show configuration dialog, all this stuff here. Hide cursor over projects. No, we're going to leave all that as fine. And automatically record when streaming. This is a nice feature. You can turn this on, so basically it'll record your stream to your hard drive as well as uploading it. So you'll have a recording set. For me, I'm not going to really do that. And this alignment snapping is just snapping this to your desktop wall and stuff. Really not too big of a deal. I'm going to leave that for there. Now we're going to hop over to stream. We're going to skip this for now, but we are going to come back to it. Next we're going to go to output. This is some very important stuff. First off is video bitrate. If you're recording 1080p, you're going to do 3,500. If you're recording 720p video, 2,500 is fine. For me, I'm going to do 3,500 because that's the best way to do it for me. Now we move down to encoder. Click on this. We have hardware NVENC, and then we have software. Let's talk a little bit about these differences. NVENC is basically trying to use the integrated graphics in your CPU to record this. So you're going to have less quality, but it's going to have less impact on your CPU and GPU because it's being handled internally with your integrated graphics, assuming that you have that. If you do not have that, then just forget about this process because that doesn't apply to you because it can't work on your system. For me, default, even if you have integrated graphics, I prefer software. It looks better, and it looks way better at the same bit rate, and the videos play back much nicer. And I found that the issues and glitches that pop up, such as audio delay with this, is just completely not worth it. And the impact isn't even that much. There's really not much of a difference whatsoever. So I highly recommend leaving it at software X264 format. Next we move on to audio bitrate. The max you can put it is 160, and I recommend keeping it that way. It'll make your audio sound as clean as possible. Now we can go a little bit more by enabling advanced encoder settings. And we have some options we can do here where we can change it from very fast to ultra fast. And these basically are settings where if you do slower at the bottom,
I'm recording. Now we're gonna show it on public, like actually.